Secretary, you were here once. You were here once?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a continuation of the investigation on Remita and alleged revenue leakages. But the questions for you are very direct. And the first one is that the committee would like to know your role in the agreement between the federal government of Nigeria and Remita to provide those services they are providing for collection of revenue from ministry, department, and agencies of the federal government of Nigeria. What is or was the role of the Federal Ministry of Finance in this agreement?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. As I stated before, that it is the Office of Accountant General of the Federation that is in charge of receipts and payments through Remita on behalf of the federal government. When the TSA was enforced, MDAs were asked to make payments to TSA electronically. There was no physical payments expected from MDAs. So it was now the central bank, the banker of government, that provided the banking infrastructure and the platform through which these payments would be made. So the agreement was between the Central Bank of Nigeria and the payment solution system provider, which is the system specs. So there is no record that Federal Ministry of Finance signed agreement with the consultant that provides the platform.
From the record that we have, we did not also see the signature of the Accountant General's office. But I want to ask whether this is standard practice. Will you consider this a standard practice that an agreement that touches on collection of revenue for government running into several trillions of naira should be executed without the inbuilt participation, endorsement, or approval, or whatever, from the Federal Ministry of Finance?
Yes, I think there should have been serious involvement of the Federal Ministry of Finance, being that what we are talking about involves the monetary aspect and the fiscal aspect. Monetary in the sense that the banking sector is under the Central Bank of Nigeria, and we are talking about the government revenue and expenditure, that revenue that will go into the account and payment that will come out of the account, and these have to do with the fiscal aspect. So I think from the beginning there was a little, will I say, mistake, and that is what we are trying to work to correct by also opening the system, making the system more robust, that would accommodate other solution providers and introduce competition and efficiency to the system. So we are still working on that. We have seen the lacuna and we want to address it globally. There is still discussion going on. Ministry of Finance, the Office of Accountant General, and Central Bank consultation. We are coming up with a more robust system. If the mistake had been committed in the past, we want to correct it so that we can work in collaboration to resolve something and ensure that the system do not provide loopholes for revenue leakages.
All right, so any other question for the
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, having identified, like, I mean, the way you've spoken, having identified the lacuna, you understand the entire thing. What would you suggest in specific terms? Yes, you've told us Minister of Finance, Accountant General, CBN are working out something to cure the gap. But what would you advise, or what would you suggest in specific terms to the committee as to what should be done to actually cure this? Thank you.
Already as I said, something is being done, and we are going to have a robust treasury management system that will make it possible for revenue put to be imputed into the system, and that also can generate the bills electronically. That when you have a bill to pay, you cannot.
Yes.
Yes.
You've said that before. Actually, you've said that before.
Yes.
But we want to take your opinion here clearly. That you said that you are doing something with CBN, with the General Office to cure that gap. But here we are asking it, what would you advise or suggest in specific terms, as based on the experience, as to what we should do, to cure that?
You mean to cure what he has identified as a mistake? Okay.
You see what I have said, that is why you said I have said what I wanted to say again. Even my personal opinion will not be superior to what we have done already.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Yes, something is ongoing
Yes.
by the agencies, by the MDAs, wherever it's going on. Now, the question is more based on your personal experience, because I believe you're a very experienced and learned person. So now we're asking you, from your own experience, from your perspective, if you were in our shoes today and you needed to make a decision, what would you do in advising the way forward? That's the question. We know that something is going on, but we need to, we're brainstorming.
What I would do is to come up with a measure that will ensure that there is effective collaboration and coordination in whatever we are doing. There should be a synergy that will lead to achievement of a good result. All what we are aiming at is to boost government revenue. We want to effectively mobilize that revenue, and room should not be given to any leakage.
The Director of Cash Management here with us?
Yes.
Mr. Shiroma Yakubu Ahmed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you use the microphone, please? Because this letter is in your hand, even though it's addressed to the Permanent Secretary on the issue of the 20 billion, 200 million naira UBEC fund that was deducted purportedly for COVID-19. Are you aware of the subject matter?
I'm aware of just of recent, because thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the opportunity to speak. Actually, I am just aware of this issue when you raised it. Because
when the committee raised it?
When the committee raised it.
Okay.
Because all that has happened, it happened in the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. But from the reports I have seen, COVID-19 came in and put the system unaware. So that time, the regime was trying to see where it can get some funds to tackle the issue. That was why I think the then minister gave directive that let's the Accountant General source for funds anywhere. So as at that material time, they saw about over 200 billion in the account of UBEC. So the minister approved for Accountant General to take 20 billion out of it and to use it for the
Minister of Finance.
According to the document, yes. I've I've seen.
Please, you can bring them to this side of the. You can bring them here. The Minister of Finance approved.
Yeah, from the
Is that correct?
From the document available from the Accountant General Office. So all, as I said, all that happened, it happened in the office of the Accountant General, not in the Ministry.
Director Cash Management.
Sir.
I wanted to get a clarification on this matter because, you know, your opening statement was to the fact that everything that happened then happened in the office of the Accountant General. But now, in your presentation, you have told us that the Minister of Finance directed the office of the Accountant General to source for a sum of 20 billion 200 million naira from UBEC fund because you found like 200 billion naira in the account to use for COVID-19.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
actually, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, on the 20th of April,
Use the microphone. Draw it closer to yourself.
the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, on the 20th of April 2020, put up a draft letter for the Honorable Minister of Finance, seeking the approval of Mr. President for the transfer of 34 billion from TSA sub-account of the 4 identified federal agencies, including UBEC. So this was what happened, Mr. Chairman.
Looking at the weight of this transaction and the various infractions that followed it, it doesn't happen in only one agency, it happens in several agencies. And I think my advice, Chairman, is that this aspect of the discussion should be taken holistically. Our meeting here today might not be the appropriate time to discuss this. It should be taken at a different date because this is too huge for us to gloss over or just to talk for 10 minutes. That's my opinion, Chairman.
Well, Honorable colleague, I understand, and I even thought that where you are going is the fact that to fully resolve this matter, we will need to have the Accountant General in attendance and probably also have those agencies in attendance. But it's good that we already have some basic information to work with. But let me also ask Permanent Secretary, or even the Cash Management Office, this monies that you just found in the UBEC account, 200 and something billion naira in the UBEC account, could it have been like idle funds, or were they supposed to be funds meant for particular project as appropriated?
Actually, UBEC, when UBEC saw a debit of 20 billion in their account, they wrote a letter to the Office of the Accountant General on the 13th of May 2020 to know the purpose of the deduction from its account and to enable it to reconcile.
That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The question is, the quantum of funds found in the account, you know, was that just like an idle money? Was it a savings or monies meant for projects as appropriated by the National Assembly? That's the question.
I think UBEC will be in a better position. But I am not privy to the account details.
Mr. Chairman, I think it was based on the request made by the Honorable Minister from the accounts that were available. Just at the instant of Mr. President, I think they were looking for money to
Permanent secretary. You are not. Anyway, because like I said, it's not only you make. From tech fund, in terms of 6.9 billion naira was taken. From the Nigerian Port Authority, 1.5 billion naira. From the National Health Insurance Scheme, 6.2 billion naira. 6.2 billion naira from the NHIS. Totally 34.419 billion naira. So what we need to, what we do, like the general member suggested, that we actually need to also write all these agencies to ask what the original purpose of those monies as appropriated by government was. But if we know what the money we appropriated for, we'll be able to get to the root of the matter in a more holistic manner. Permanent Secretary, so we'll communicate to you appropriately after inviting the Accountant General as well as the Chief Accounting Officers or the accounting officers of each of those agencies affected by the deduction. Thank you. So we can actually release you. Yes. Thank you.